To our next bit of news. The Atari VCS! Yay! So last year, there was a period of time where they announced that it got delayed. We have covered the Atari VCS. We covered this game on episode 5 of the Big Wig podcast.
Wow.
And
it's before my time.
Yeah, the good days. And this was like an EB listing, and we're like, wow, this is insane. This is like the same price as, PlayStation 5 is going to be, or Series X. And we actually never even covered that it got delayed. Because I don't think any of us noticed it. Swinny, did you notice it got delayed when it got delayed?
This thing has been delayed so much that you just stop paying attention.
That's true. And, I think if you want to follow this more closely, there's other really great podcasts that have focused more on retro stuff. Like one that I like is the Completely Unnecessary podcast. And they just, they hammer this kind of stuff.
They're big fans of the Atari VCS, clearly.
Better not say anything bad about it. But hang on, did the initial... Because this started off as a Kickstarter campaign, right?
Indiegogo.
Oh, Indiegogo, sorry.
It's even worse.
But did the initial lot get sent to the people? I heard, from what I've seen?
I heard that some of the Indiegogo backers started receiving stuff at the end of last year.
Yeah, because I've seen samples of it and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know how extensive that rollout has been. It could have been just to top tier backers or something like that.
Right, but this is the official launch now, where you can walk into JB Hi-Fi, which you'll talk about in a sec, and just pick it up.
Maybe.
Well, it's available.
You want to talk about the good things? Like, I have to say, the logo, like Atari VCS, the logo looks awesome. Like, huge tick on the logo.
Very retro, yeah.
Very retro, but retro, modern, like, huge tick, right? I think the way the console looks
great.
Awesome.
Perfectly
it's like literally
retro.
perfect.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't make it better. It's like analog style quality. The controllers, I guess, I've pretty much finished saying the good stuff.
Hey, no, wait, so they've improved. You get the classic controller, which is an improvement over the original.
The classic controller
really
is
hard
horrible.
to I know, but people want that nostalgia. It's part of the package. You don't have to get it because you can get the standalone console without that controller. And then they've got the 360 ripoff controller. I think the classic one's cool. It's just a modern iteration of the classic one. If you want to splurge out a lot of money and play the original Atari games in that mode, because this thing obviously does more than just the original Atari games or the 2600 games. I think it's cool. I think it's a cool little added thing.
It will. So you'll get some games when you buy it as well. Like you get access to the Atari VCS Vault, which comes with a bunch of 100 Atari and arcade games. Mm-hmm. But I was actually interested in this. I didn't know much about this Antstream Arcade. Apparently, it says the digital store will feature over a dozen games at launch with Antstream Arcade. So I actually downloaded this Antstream Arcade because you can get it on PC.
I love it.
And there's actually a whole bunch of games on there that, there's some big name games there. Unfortunately, it's one of those apps where it's like you need to restart your computer, and then I forgot to try it actually before the show. So it's kind of unfortunate. And Mike's trying to just shoo someone away.
The most important thing...
You're on the camera, by the way. You can...
they can't because it's vertical.
Is this the new Vegemite or the old Vegemite?
It's Mike's wife for the people at home.
No, that's fine. Thanks.
So I'll switch to the most important thing. I've just sent you the link. Atari speaker hats.
Oh, you get one when you order it via Best Buy, I think it is.
What, a speaker hat?
Yeah, you get one of the outlets. You get a speaker hat when you get the Atari VCS.
Have you seen how expensive these speaker hats are?
What? Wait, that's US dollars too, right?
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's $130 US for these Atari speaker hats.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
Australian.
A game in the US, GameStop and Best Buy bundle purchases will include a speaker hat.
Wow. Okay, that's a good deal.
It is kind of cool.
It's a
speaker
steal.
hat is kind of cool.
We're going to get back to it though, because at JB, so in Australia, this is more expensive than a PlayStation 5, correct?
Well, it's $849.
Yes, it is. Yeah, $100 more expensive. Yeah.
Why don't you just post like minimum purchase 1 unit?
No, because on the Atari speaker hat on their website, it goes minimum purchase 1 unit.
Not maximum purchase
okay.
1 unit. No, it's not maximum. You have to buy one.
You have to
You
buy
have to
one.
at least buy
Oh my
one.
god! I have to. I don't know. I can't leave. I can't even close the browser now. It's making me buy one.
It's a Trojan horse. I fooled you guys. It says minimum. You have to follow it. It's the internet.
It's gonna start mining
paper.
mining Atari crypto while you're wearing it.
So yeah, like there's Atari Mode for this, right? Which is like trying to be more like the original Atari, play games. And then there's a PC mode where it's basically, because all this thing is like a little PC box.
So we're talking about the price. This is probably the first big concern I have about it. It's a glorified Intel NUC / every other manufacturer that has these things that I think you can get for cheaper than $849 to do very similar stuff. Other than, you don't get the inbuilt Atari library and all that stuff, which is, I guess it's kind of cool, but
But you
there's
can
other
get that like on
alternatives anyway.
Steam.
Exactly.
You can buy that anywhere.
So I think if you look at it from that perspective, $849 is too much for this kind of stuff. You can get cheaper things that do almost the same thing. Off the top of my head, probably more powerful than the Ryzen, what is it, the R1606G. I've got a 3000G CPU, which I think is on par. I might have to make a correction next week, but I think it's roughly on par in terms of performance. And the thing that was like $80 for the CPU, and building stuff around it doesn't cost that much more. So, like, that's not to discount the fact that this is a cool piece of hardware. It's just you're paying a premium for the Atari brand for what it technically is, which is a glorified laptop without a screen / Intel NUC type.
What
device.
I want to know is, so they've got the listing on JB website, but that's the bundle only.
What happened to the
I-
EB
it-
Games one though? It
So
disappeared.
it's
Are they still doing it,
It's
or-
gone into the ether. So
Sold out or why?
I don't think it would have sold out. I think they probably just.
I should talk to my contacts to see what
Yeah.
happened. Yeah.
But the thing is, right? Are you actually going to be able to buy this thing without the bundle here, or do you just have to get this $849 bundle?
Oh, I think you'd have to get the 849 one.
I don't know.
Anyway, I'm honestly over talking about the Atari VCS right now. So.
You wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, for like 5 minutes.
Okay, I'll just say quickly that
Next.
what I would have done if I was like Atari, I feel like they would have made more money if they made a very cool case that you can put a Raspberry Pi in, or like a Mister. Like if that's all their business was like $249 to buy like the best case you could ever buy that looks like an Atari. It's got the Atari logo. You can plug it up to the Mister or the Raspberry Pi, and it powers the light on when the system is on and everything like that. To me, I feel like more people would buy that and they'd make more money and the profit would be better.
So why doesn't someone just make a mini Atari looking? Hang on a minute. Where's my?
What are you talking about?
don't know. What
It's
is he
like
doing?
mid-conversation.
I know.
Oh, there's a fly up there.
All right, I'm going to move on. All
All right, we've moved on, Mike.
Go-
We've moved on.
Going
Only
going
because I
to the-
remembered I had this bloody thing up there.
All right, Mike.
okay.
So I wonder if you could just,
You have ADHD.
I do have it. This
All right,
probably,
we're gonna move
actually,
on.
this probably fits a Raspberry Pi in it.
But he's showing an
Wouldn't it?
Atari. He's showing an Atari flashback.
Okay, that does
so I'm
look pretty
showing a little
cool. That does look
flashback.
pretty cool.
So I reckon you could take this little thing, and it's about the size of. Oh, you could fit a Pi in this easily, and you
Maybe.
could turn this into almost this $849 device. And I picked this up from Kmart for like $49.
Okay.
So.
Still too much. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the next
Cool, though.
story.
Look at it. It's